Evening. We are a couple of minutes early. We'll start soon. In the meantime, I just want to test the connection. Can all of you hear me clearly? Please say yes if you can hear me clearly. No connectivity issues. Yeah. Okay. Great. We'll start in 2 minutes. Good evening, Devjit. Hi. I still have a cold, Devjit, but better. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking. I'm going to speak at this volume. I hope that's fine. Can you all hear me clearly? And I've got a flask full of hot water next to me to keep my throat on track. Okay, great. Anyway, I'm not going to do as much talking today because today is the concluding session and we're going to experiment with a lot of tools, over 20 different tools. So that should be fun. It's going to be quite interactive today. All right, shall we start? Once again, confirming you can all hear me clearly and see my screen. Okay, thank you. I can see 13 people in the room. There's Chinky, Garg, Datta, Devjit Roy, Dipanjan, Kalyan Pratyush, Laya Varghese, Mrinalini, Maithili, Radhika, Sudanva, Yovan, and one person whose name is not visible. You know what to do. I'm going to go right on. I'm not waiting. Going to go right ahead and get started with session 8. So, welcome to the last concluding session of email marketing. I hope this past month has been interesting for you and you've learned a lot. Today, we are going to look at a number of different tools that can help you do all the tasks that we've seen so far in email marketing faster and better, hopefully. This is our agenda. We're going to start with some deliverability tools, go on to database tools, email creation tools, a template for strategy, and end with a series recap and or a Q&A section. Is that okay? We're all in. I think people are still signing in. So, hi Prasad, Nankumar, and Yogesh. Just come in. And Sujoy. Hi. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be giving you a lot of the tools. So in some of those cases, I'm going to ask you to go out and do this and then come back and tell me what you find because I think it'll make a lot more sense that way. What do you think? Make sense? Because these are all online tools. Yeah. All right. Great. That's the level of excitement that it's really great to have. Thank you, Devjit. Okay. Tool number one. I'm going to start with the most important tool in any email marketer's toolkit, any digital marketer's toolkit. And this is a tool that all of us are using every single day. You know which one this is? This is the god of all online tools, and it's called Google. So, quick check. What all can Google let me do? I'm new to email marketing. I want to know what A B testing is. I just ask Google, what is A B testing in email marketing? And there, Google gives me the answer from a campaign monitor blog and a bunch of others, beginner's guide to A B testing, and so on and so forth. Let's look for what makes for a good subject line. Great subject lines for email marketing. And right there, 17 tips, 23 sales lines, 18 best email subject lines, and so on and so forth. Among other things, today I'm going to show you a few other things that you may not have realized Google can do. Let's start with something fun. So start by Googling the following term, following phrase. Open a Google search window and do this search and come back and tell me what you find. Radhika, something happened with Radhika's screen. How about the rest of you? Is Radhika the only one who tried this? It okay. Yogesh, it didn't roll. Check the spellings again. This is an example of a Google Easter egg. If you're interested in more like this, and there are lots of them, not with the quotes, Yogesh, without the quotes. This is called a Google Easter egg, and if you want more like this, you can just Google for Google Easter eggs. You can make Google do a lot of other things. So Google's a really fun buddy to have, right? Let's look at what else it can do. Do we remember deliverability? Our second session that was quite heavy but very important, a little technical. Let's hear some ideas, some concepts, some terms that you remember from that session. I know all of you remember at least some things because I have been recapping, touching on some of them in every session. Throw a few terms, let's see. What do we remember? Just terms is fine. This is not a knowledge check. Okay. Those are the metrics for email marketing success, Radhika. Specifically when it comes to deliverability, what do you remember? Bounce rate. Yeah. Bounce rate is the number of emails bounced divided by number of emails delivered as a no, number of emails bounced divided by number of emails sent as a percentage. What else? Server, router, IP address, hard bounce, soft bounce, spam trap. Remember all these? Blacklist, exactly. So let's look at some tools. All of these have to do with IP address. Do we remember IP address? IP address is a unique string of numbers assigned to every internet connected device by its internet service provider. All of you remember the metaphor I gave you about me in a room and putting a hat on all your heads, right? Colored hat on all your heads. Yep. Okay, so let's find out what your device's IP address is. How do we do that? We ask Google. So that's your second tool. It's there on the slide. Please go and do this search. You don't have to come back and tell me, but tell me when you're done. Ask Google for your IP address. Okay, by the way, guys, I'm not going to answer questions about the past sessions in between today's tools because we've got about 22 tools. And I don't want you to miss out on any of them. If you need a recap, we'll do that in the series recap at the end. Okay, so just you're going to have to stay with me. Okay, so Devjit has got his his IP address. Laya has got it. Have all of you got it? Done? All right, great. Let's look at what this IP address means. Okay, that doesn't look like an IP address, Yogesh. Maybe try it again. Okay. All of you remember blacklists, right? So here's a tool where you can check whether you are on a blacklist. So tool number 3, blacklists. This is MX Toolbox. You've got to copy paste the I. Oops, sorry. I'm going to give you the link again. I think the link didn't work. Try this link. Yes, this one works. Open the link that I've shared with you, the second link. Paste your IP address here and click on blacklist check. And come back and tell me how many blacklists you find yourself on. I can see there are 20 people in the room right now, by the way. So, hi Ankit, Bindu, Chinky, all the new people who come in, Prasad, Pankaj. Hello. We've just started. So, how about you just try the tool that I've shared? This tool will tell you how many blacklists you are on. Has anyone gotten a few scares? Do you find yourself on any blacklists? Ask Google, Pankaj. It's there on the slide. The search term is also there on the slide. See? Take that IP address, feed it into MX Toolbox. Okay, people. Okay, so Kalyan has found himself on four of the blacklists. How about the others? 8 times. Okay, Chinky's on 3. Laya's on 4. Yogesh is on 0 blacklist. Yogesh, which internet service provider are you using? Yovan is on 1. Yovan, which one are you using? No, Yogesh, you don't need to copy paste all that. Okay, Yogesh is on Geo. Yeah. Okay, so Geo being one of the newest internet service providers, somehow has managed to keep spammers off, so it's on very few blacklists. But you'll find most other people are on at least 3 or 4 blacklists. Is there anyone here who is finding themselves on more than 10? Okay, Ankit is on 10. Ankit, what are you using? Airtel, Tata? It's got to be one of the popular ones. Airtel, right? Yeah. Airtel is on a lot of blacklists. Pankaj, which one are you on? Hathway, okay. I'm on a Hathway connection right now, but the connection is very slow, but good if it's on very few blacklists. Only one. Excellent. So don't panic if you're on a few blacklists. You can get yourself off the blacklist. You do this by contacting the blacklist owner. Their names will be listed. You can see if you scroll down the list, you'll see the names of the blacklist owners. Find out their contact details, mail them explaining that you're a marketer and not a spammer. I've been advised that they usually take your IP address off the blacklist within 24 hours. Okay? So there's an eye opener. Maybe your delivery path is not as smooth as you were hoping. What's another way to clean up your delivery path? Does everyone here remember IP warming? I explained IP warming at the end of session 2. If you don't remember it very well, go back and watch the video. IP warming is a way for you to warm your IP address or make it a lot better for delivery with the mail servers. Okay. All right. Do we remember reputation? No, I think that would count as one, Devjit. Do we remember reputation check? This is done by the mail server. Reputation check is based on a number of things. It looks at your history as a sender of emails. So it looks at whether you've been marked as spam in the past, your user engagement stats, your bounces, your spam trap catches, blacklists, all of these. So our fourth tool is going to give you a measure of your reputation in one go. And this is sender score. So www.senderscore.org, I think it is. Let's check. Yes, it is. Sender score also looks at your IP address and assigns you a score. Give it a try and come back and tell me what you find. You don't need to set up a login. If you scroll down, you'll find this. View partial report will give you a score. Try it and come back and tell me what your score is. Sender score. Rinaldi's got a sender score of 12. Okay. Rinaldi, you should do IP warming. Sender score is a score from 0 to 100. The lower it is, the worse it is. Anything below 50, that's 50, is alarming. Yeah, so you should definitely do IP warming. Otherwise, you'll find a lot of your emails are bouncing. Okay, insufficient email seen, then not to worry. Sender score does not consider you a potential spammer. 78 is very good, Ankit. 78 is really, really good. The aim is to have a sender score above 70. If you have insufficient email volume, then that's self explanatory, right? There's not even enough emails being sent from your IP address for the mail server to treat you as a potential spammer. 66 is decent, Laya, but you've got to try and take it up over 70. And you can do that by IP warming. Is there anyone else who's under 50? 50? Less than 50? Sender score less than 50? 47. So Sujoy, again, that's very close to the borderline. IP warming again will help, and also match it back with your blacklists and see. If you're on a lot of blacklists, it might make sense to mail them all and ask them to take you off. 20 is low, Maithili. It's below 50, right? So it's quite bad. IP warming, all of you, please IP warming. It'll greatly help you. Okay? All right. So are we ready to move ahead? All of you now know the importance of deliverability, and now you have a few tools that help you track these as well. Please track these, and because it'll be really a pity if you've got fantastic databases and great email campaigns and most of your emails bounce, right? You want to make sure that doesn't happen. So make sure you're doing your IP warming and getting yourself off the blacklists. Let's get on. Let's move on. Let's look at the database. Okay. On Tuesday, we had a session on the creation and management of databases. Today, I'm going to show you a few tools of extracting email addresses. Please keep in mind that this does not mean that you're not required to seek permission. Opting in is a separate process which you still need to do. But separately, how do you access email addresses? I hope we are very clear on that, because in the past we've had a few students who've confused this. I'm not saying that you can just go and pick up people's email addresses and just mail them. Okay, that's bulk mailing, and you know what will happen from a delivery standpoint. You'll get marked as a spammer if you do that. So please don't do that. But keeping in mind permissions, let's look at some ways to get hold of email addresses. All right. Let's start with the database that all of you already have. Does everyone here have a Gmail account? Is there anybody here who does not have a Gmail account? All of you do, right? You don't have a choice, because if you have an Android phone, you require a Gmail account. Lots of other things In order to do certain things on YouTube, you need a Gmail account, and so on and so forth, right? Your Gmail account is a very rich database. If you also have an Android phone, then all the phone numbers that you're adding are also getting added to that Gmail account, in addition to the email addresses and lots of other pieces of information. But Gmail's contact list is not obviously easy to download. At a glance, you can't see one tab called address book where you can download. So I'm going to show you how you can download or extract your Gmail contact list. So this is your Gmail mailbox. Top left corner is the Google logo. Under that, it says Gmail and there is a drop down menu. In that, I'm selecting the second entry, which is contacts. And the minute I click on that, it opens up a new window, which is contacts.google.com. When this opens up, on the left hand side, there are lots of options. I'm going to click on more. And under this, there is an import option as well as an export option. Import means if I have a database elsewhere, I can pull that into my Google address, my Google account. What I'm looking for is an export, which means all the contacts I have here, I want to export them. So I'm going to click on export. It says export from the old version because this preview version doesn't support exporting yet. So I'm going to say, okay, go to the old version, wherein it'll open up a third window. This is just Google. Google has been lazy and they've not retired. They've not changed the settings yet. That's why we're having to go through this elaborate process. Now the old Google contacts window looks like this. And here it's got some contacts in the, some menu options on the left and some as drop downs. I'm going to click on this drop down menu that says more and click on export. And here it asks me which contacts do you want to export. I can choose my friends, family, so on and so forth, any circles, most contacted, or I can choose all contacts. You can see right now it only says 3 because this is a dummy email account which I do not use to send out emails. Which format do I want it in? I'm going to take a Google CSV format and say export, and it downloads this into my downloads folder, which I can open in Excel. It's a CSV file, so that means I can open it in Excel. You can see because this is an empty contact list because I don't use this particular email address for anything else. It's only for demonstrations. But when you do this on your own accounts, you'll find all of these get populated with your records. And these are the given fields. Do we all remember fields and records from Tuesday's session? Yeah? So I'm not going to ask you to do this on your own, but just in case this was a little complicated, I'm going to repeat this for all of you, okay? So here's your Gmail mailbox, the Google logo, under that the Gmail drop-down menu. Click on contacts, opens window 2, which is contacts.google.com, the new window. On the left-hand side, more. Click on export, say go to old version, opens up window 3, which is the old Google Contacts window. Click on more at the top, export, select the contacts you want to export and the format and hit export. Are we clear? You don't need to do this right now on your own, but you know how to do this now. The video is also there, so you can go back and watch this when you want to figure out how to do this on your own. Everyone clear so far? So that was your 5th tool, which is extracting your own Google contact list. How about LinkedIn? Is there anyone here who is not on LinkedIn? Anybody here who is not on LinkedIn? If you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get onto LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a very, very important resource for any digital marketer. LinkedIn is a social network, just like Facebook and the others. This is my LinkedIn. When I log in, you can see there's my timeline. I can connect with other people with profiles. There are also LinkedIn pages, such as the Digital Vidya page. Just like Facebook pages, there are LinkedIn pages. So every organization in the world has an official LinkedIn page. You can see this is the Digital Vidya page. I'm going to show you a way to extract information from LinkedIn as well. Now, LinkedIn, why is LinkedIn so important? Because LinkedIn is the only source of professional information online, free professional information. Now, there are a lot of other ways, industrial directories and so on and so forth, but none of them are as comprehensive as LinkedIn. Plus, LinkedIn is free. I'm going to show you how to access free information, okay, about people's professional universes. Let's come back here. Let me take an example. Let's look for the page of, okay, Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. Do all of us recognize this institute? This is IIM Lucknow. This is one of the top management colleges in the country. Let's see what their LinkedIn page looks like. So just like with Facebook, I can follow pages, LinkedIn pages, whereby I'll get their updates. There are all these updates here. Most of you are on LinkedIn. So, you know what happens when you fill in your LinkedIn profile, right? You have to put in where you studied, which company you worked for, which company you're currently working for. And when you put in those details, the LinkedIn properties of those companies and those colleges and schools receive that information. That is how IIM Lucknow is telling me that there are, okay, so there are this many this followers. I'm going to say C alumni. Can you see this number? Where is this number coming from? There are 14,917 LinkedIn profiles which have listed IIM Lucknow as their college. Are you all with me so far? Yeah. Let's look at how to drill down in this database. And this is a database, right? Right at the top, I can actually drill it down based on the start year, end year. Let's look at something else. If I scroll right to the bottom, all their names and faces will appear. But let's segment it a bit. LinkedIn is already showing me of these 14,000 people, so many of them live in each of these areas. These are the companies they work for, these are the roles they perform. Let's click on Mumbai. There are 2,223 people in Mumbai who have listed IIM Lucknow as their college on LinkedIn. And of these 2,000 odd people, 48 work in ICICI Bank, 40 in Axis Bank, and so on and so forth. And these are their roles. Let's look at this. Okay, let's look at the Boston Consulting Group. I have 20 people who are in Mumbai who work for the Boston Consulting Group and who have passed out from IIM Lucknow. Of these 20, 5 are in consulting, 4 in program management, 4 in education, 1 in engineering, and 1 in entrepreneurship. I'm going to click on 4 in program and project management. So see how I've drilled down a database of 14,000 people down to 4 people. These 4 people are a very selected group. Who are these 4 people? 4 of them are all in this domain of program and project management. They all work for BCG in Mumbai and they've all passed out from IIM Lucknow. And if I scroll down, here, I can even see who those 4 people are. Let's look at Denzel Thomas. I'm not connected to Denzel Thomas, but look at how much information I'm able to see about him. I know he's a software engineer working for Aricent formerly. He passed out from IIM Lucknow and before that NIT Calicut. He graduated in 2006. These are his interests. I can see which are the groups he's a part of, which are the schools he has listed. This is all very, very interesting. Isn't it interesting? Remember bio persona? Lot of information you can drill down from this. How about his email address? I don't have his email address. Is there a way for me to find his email address? I don't know him at all. But the answer is yes. And I'm going to show you how. Let me list down what I already know about him. Okay? So first of all, I know his name is Denzel Thomas. Okay, so Denzel Thomas. Do I know the company he works for? I do. It's called the Boston Consulting Group. Now his email address is a question mark. I don't know what his email address is. I hope all of you can see my screen. Should I make it bigger? Is this better? Yeah? Okay, great. Now I have to. Alright, before I go on, how many people here like Sherlock Holmes? Hmm. Want to play Sherlock Holmes? We are going to go on a sleuthing trail and we're going to find out what this gentleman's official email address is. Now we know that he has to have an official email address. We also know that every single email address in the world follows one simple format, and that is person's name at the rate domain name dot com, right? Without all those spaces in between. I put those spaces so that it doesn't turn into an HTML address when I hit enter, right? This is the format of all email addresses in the world. Completely in agreement, everyone? This is fact. Yes or no? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to fill in the details that I do know already. I'm going to put the person's name over here. Then I know there's going to be an at the rate. Then I'm going to put the domain name. Then I'm going to put a dot. I'm putting dot and com together, okay? I have to fill these two in now. So let's first start with the domain name. And I want this to be fact. I'm not just going to throw in whatever I think, because if I make a mistake in this, my emails will bounce. So let's find out what the Boston Consulting Group's domain name is. I'm going to ask Google. And the first site is bcg.com, which is the official website of Boston Consulting Group. Do I have the domain name? I do, right? Okay, so I'm going to replace this with bcg.com. Now this is missing. Every major company, especially the MNCs, has its own format of where is, oh, right. Thank you, Sujoy, for pointing that out. BCG. Thank you. I typed in BGC. Yeah, but Mrinalini, can we afford to take that chance? We don't know that for a fact, right? Some companies also have first name dot last name. Some have first name underscore last name. Some use initials. Some use only first name. Some use only last name and one initial. There's a wide variety of formats that different companies use. Some companies even use multiple formats. Yes or no? Okay, so hang on, Mrinalini. I think that's great if you have a tool of your own, but stay with the tools that I'm sharing, because then you and the others will miss these. Okay, when you share a link like that, everyone is tempted to go and click on that and then go and check that out, and then they'll miss what I'm saying, right? Okay, not a problem. So let's come back. We need to find out what Boston Consulting Group's format of email addresses is. It's fair to say that such a large company will have a standard format. So what can we do? Let's go looking for what BCG's email addresses are like and look for patterns in there. Okay, before I do that, I forgot to show you another tool. Okay, is everyone okay with holding this thought here, or is your curiosity getting the better of you? I forgot to show you two other tools. Is your curiosity getting the better of you and you want me to? Okay, I can show you this one first, but it'll go a lot longer if you don't know the other two tools. A whole lot longer. Okay, so I'm going to show you the other two tools. I've already, all right. before that. I'm going to go to Google. My apologies. I just got very excited about showing you this because this is a lot of fun. Yes, you have to hold your horses. Thank you. Let's come back to Google for a minute. We already know that LinkedIn is giving us so much information. Let's go back and ask Google, hey Google, I want to find out how many HR managers there are in Bombay. How do I do that? I'm going to say, Google, please make use of LinkedIn. So, manager, human, resources, Mumbai, LinkedIn, gmail.com. What does the search term mean? It means, Google, please throw up pages that have the terms manager HR, that contain the word Mumbai, that are on LinkedIn, and have a gmail.com address. When I do that, it's giving me lots of names. Ashish Gakre, Riya Mehta, Prabhakar Azad, Sunil Talapurkar, Avinash Kamath, Sanjay Sarvankar, Divya Singh. Now this is great. You now know Google can do this. I can go and individually copy paste each of these, but when I do that, I run the risk of making a typo like I did here, which Sujoy noticed, which was good. But just in case I don't notice that, I'm in trouble, right? So here's another very useful tool. I'm going to say, Google, please give me an email extractor for Google Chrome. I spelled extractor wrong, but Google has already auto-corrected that. I'm using Chrome right now, so I looked for email extractor tool for Chrome. I've already downloaded it and it's added here. Those of you who are using Chrome, here's the link where you can add it. This is a free tool. Can you please add that to your browsers? And those of you who are on Firefox, not to worry, you can try this email extractor for Firefox. And right here is the tool. Both of these are free plugins that you can add to your browsers. You'll see why these two are useful in a minute. It won't take more than a minute. Please install one of these two depending on which browser you're using and come back and tell me when you're done. Is Vrinda the only one? Vrinda, Yogesh, Mrinalini, okay. Can you see, you may have to restart your browser. I don't know, has it put a little button on your browser window? The Google Chrome one looks like a chain link. The Firefox one looks like, here I'll show you what it looks like. The Firefox one looks like a, no, I'm sorry. The Firefox one also looks like a chain link. The Google Chrome one also looks like a chain link now. Earlier, they changed the logo. Done? Okay. Now let's look at how this can be made easier. Try doing the same search in Google, all of you. Sorry, this has gotten turned into HTML. Can you see my window? You'll have to type this in into Google. Don't copy paste the chat window, copy paste, or rather type this in what you see here. Done? Okay. Now, if you click on your email extractor tool, it'll give you a drop down with all those email addresses from that particular page. And it also gives you a way to copy them all or download them as a TXT file or a CSV file. Isn't that great? So this email extractor extension is doing two things. One is at a glance, it's showing you all the email addresses that are there on this page. It's also giving you a way to extract them. Has everyone seen that? Everyone? Okay. We are now going to use this in conjunction with LinkedIn and get back on our Sherlock Holmes trail. Shall we do that? Okay. So let's get back to Mr. Denzel Thomas from Boston Consulting Group. Where were we? We went as far as the domain name. Now we need to find out what is the format of the whatever comes before the at the rate. And we're going to do that by looking for patterns of bcg.com email addresses. I'm going to tell Google, please show me web pages that have email addresses that end in bcg.com. Close quotes. Now I can go manually looking through all this, or I can just check and see, are there any email addresses on this? Okay, nothing interesting here. Let me go to page 2. Page 2 also, okay, so page 2 has one email address. I'm going to copy this. Actually, it has two, but I'm not copying Digital Ramya because that's my dummy account. One email address does not make a pattern, so I'm going to go looking further. Page 3. jane.doe@bcg.com. This looks like a dummy account, but I'm going to copy it anyway. Let's go to page 4. All right, there are quite a few. Let's copy all of these. Now, do I have enough to look for a pattern? I think so. I can't really tell with a name like Lingard.Xenia. My guess is it is last name dot first name. That's my guess. Jane.Doe looks like first name dot last name. Amako Stephen. Stephen sounds like a first name, so let me go with a guess of last name dot first name. Van Leerd, Bruno, no idea at all. Dab Stefan also sounds like last name dot first name. Nivelle dot France, no idea. So let's look for a few more. This is confusing, so let me look for a few more. There's nothing here. Okay. Let's look for page 6. Okay, so this is bound to happen sometimes. There's not a lot more email addresses available beyond page 6 or 7. So let's go back here and try and guess. The majority of these seem to be last name dot first name, right? So if I have to place a guess, my guess would be his email address is thomas.denzel@bcg.com. Now this is only a guess, mind you. But would you like to try an activity on this before we go ahead to the next tool? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to give you this to do on your own. I'm going to give you the name of a person whose email address I want you to find. Can you do that? All the different tools that I've shared with you, use the ones that you need. Okay? All right. Before we do this, let's do this like a game. I'd like you all to send it to me in a private message rather than share it on chat. It'll make it more fun, right? Because you're all going on, it's like a puzzle. So can we quickly test whether everyone knows how to send a private message? Just say hi to me on a private message. You just type in hi, and under that there's a drop down menu which currently says all entire audience. If you click on that, you can either select my name or you can say organizers only. I can see Kuresh's message. Hi Kuresh, hi Yogesh, hi Vrinda. Radhika, Laya, Mrinalini, Devjit, Sujoy. Sujoy said hi in the room. No, not Sujoy, sorry. Devjit said hi in the room. You have to send me a private message. Kalyan, Prasad, Chinky, Yovan, Sujoy, Ankit, Devjit, can you try it? I won't want any one of you to ruin the fun for everyone else. Datta and Devjit. Okay, so are we ready? And Pankaj. I'll give you 2 minutes. Find out the email address, okay? Not a website, not a name. You need to find out the email address, the official email address, not the Gmail account, not a Yahoo account. The official email address of this person and send it to me on private message only. I'll disqualify anyone who sends it in public chat. No, I'm joking. I can't disqualify anyone, but please don't do that. It'll be more fun if you do it on private message. Brinda's already got the answer, guys. We're going to wait until everyone does. Okay? So, Brinda, keep it to yourself. Kalyan has also got it right. Very good, Kalyan. So, for Kalyan and Brinda, who've already found the answer to the first one, there's a second question on the slide in blue. You can try that while the others are getting this. That's right, Sujoy. Very good. Sujoy's also got it right. That's great, Laya. Laya's also got it right. And so has Jovan and Sujoy. I don't think there is a tool like this for Internet Explorer, Devjit. You'll have to manually go through it and manually extract and download. That's right, Radhika. Good job. So, clear everyone with this so far? Unilever is a relatively easy one because they're very standard in their formats. Can we all come back? People, can we come back? Can I continue? That's not correct, Prasad. That email will bounce. Okay, Vrinda, would you like to tell the class what the right one is because you got it right first? Kalyan, that's correct. Kalyan has also got the second one, right? That is the right answer. Can we go on? Well done, all of you who've got it right. I hope the process is clear. You can pretty much get anybody's email address by a combination of all these tools, and all these tools are free. Kalyan, would you like to tell us? Kalyan's got the second one as well. Yes, that's it. Okay, we are going to go ahead now. I know this is really exciting, but guys, don't get stuck on this. There are many, many more tools. Shall I go ahead? Now let's go back to the BCG one. BCG was tricky. I'm not feeling very comfortable with this guess I made because we did find one or two names that it was not very clear whether it was first name or last name, right? What do we do in such a case? We do email verification. So here's one more tool, and this is verifyemailaddress.org. Try it. Put in the email address that you've just found for Unilever and see what happens. And in the meantime, I'm going to test out the BCG one. I'm going to test out thomas.denzel at bcg.com and say verify email address now. It says thomas.denzel at bcg.com is not valid. If I'd sent it out to him, then my mail would have bounced. So let's try denzel.thomas at bcg.com. Denzel.thomas at bcg.com is also not valid. So this means even if we use this pattern, we might go wrong even with this, right? Which is why a tool like verifyemailaddress.org exists. Let's try keith.weed at unilever.com. It says keith.weed at unilever.com is valid. No, Vrinda, that's not the right person. The question was the CEO. Let's try Kalyan's answer. Kalyan said abhishek.lodha at lodhagroup.com. Okay, it says it's not valid. Let's try it with a K. And there, it's valid. Pretty useful tool, I think, right? There are several other tools which do the same thing. So there's verifyemailaddress.org, which I've shared with you in the chat window. There's also maxprog.com/emailverifier.html. Works in pretty much the same way. You can verify whether an email address is valid or not without having to send it and risk a bounce. Everybody with me so far? These are some great tools for managing your database, right? Okay. I'm going to give my voice a little break and give you a video to watch. Please watch this and come back and tell me when you're done. Those of you who are done, can we take a minute and do the feedback? Today's feedback, this being the last session, today's feedback is not just on today's session, but on the entire email marketing module. So please take 2 minutes today Why are you afraid, Devjit? I should be afraid, right? This is feedback about the program for the Digital Vidya team. So please take a minute and fill in the link, the form at the end of this link, and come back and tell me when you finish that. The session is not over yet, by the way. I've still got content tools for you. Is that everyone? Should I go ahead? No, that's only 4 people. I'm going to wait a little longer. I'd rather wait till everyone finishes. Okay, are we all done and back? Thank you for that time. Let's move on to content tools. We've looked at deliverability tools and database tools. Now let's look at when you're actually building the email. Two tools that I find very useful. The first one is one that a lot of you already know. For those of you who are new to this is Grammarly. Grammarly is a lovely tool, perfectly beautiful tool that helps you proofread. You can either visit the website or you will notice that I have the Grammarly app installed on my browser. So the minute I start typing anything, like even within a Gmail window, let's say this is my Gmail, and in my compose screen, I start typing in something. Okay, Grammarly as So Grammarly has highlighted a couple of problems here. See that? If I have the Grammarly tool installed on my browser, I can do it right here, or I can go to Grammarly's site and upload my document or type it in there to make this work. All these tools available for free on Grammarly.com. So Grammarly is a proofreading tool. The other tool is Hemingway app. Hemingway app or Hemingway editor helps you write better. Let's take a look at how this works. I've come onto Hemingway app and there is a sample document already loaded here and there are lots of highlights on it. On the right hand side, here's Hemingway's rating of it. It's at readability level grade 6. There are 133 words and each highlight has a meaning. The highlights in blue are adverbs meeting the goal of 2 or fewer. So let's see if we can get it to reduce. When I hover over helpfully, it says use a forceful verb like just omit it. So I've removed it. It says omit the word perhaps. So omit it. That works. 0 adverbs. Let's look at the green. The green says uses of passive voice. Passive voice is not considered very good. So this one says are shown as passive voice, use active voice instead. So I'm going to say blue highlights show adverbs and weakening phrases. So it's gone down to 1. Green highlights mark phrases. In passive voice. Okay, so this has gone down to 0. Pink has a simpler alternative. When I hover over utilize, it shows me the alternative is use. I've replaced it. This has gone to 0. Yellow is hard to read sentence. Okay, so this app highlights lengthy, complex sentences and common errors. If you see a yellow sentence, shorten or split it. Let's try shortening it or splitting it. There, just by splitting it, the yellow is gone. Red sentences are very hard to read. If you see a red highlight, your sentence is so dense and complicated that your readers will get lost trying to follow its meandering splitting logic. Try editing the sentence to remove the red. I'm going to start by splitting the sentence. Okay, this bit has gone away on red, but this is still in red. If you see a red highlight, your sentence is so dense. I'm going to say too dense and complicated and stop right here and make this a separate sentence. So all the highlights are gone. All of them have come down to 0. You'll notice the number of words has gone down and it's now gone up to grade 5. So this is Hemingway app that helps you write better. You can just delete all this and copy paste your own document here. Okay? And this is a free app. You can also download the desktop app here. Well, actually that's a paid app, so you can't, if you're looking for free tools, you'll have to do it on the web. Okay, let's go on. Remember the spam filter? I'm going to take a minute to ask you to remind me what the spam filter is and how it works. First of all, where does an email encounter a spam filter? At what stage in its journey? Mail server is correct, Yuvan. There is also another spam filter at the recipient's mailbox level, right? So there are 2 spam filters. You have to find a way to get past both the spam filters. Let's look at the first one. There are actually de-spamming tools. Actually, so let's look at the one in the recipient mailbox first. Recipient mailbox spam filters are based on some common understanding of how spam mails work, as well as what the recipient tells them, mark this as spam. So these 2 articles contain lists of commonly seen as spam words. Here's one. So spam words to avoid. And the one on HubSpot actually categorizes it by the kind of industry you're in as well. So this is saying don't use phrases like stop disclaimer statement, no credit check, avoid bankruptcy, eliminate debt. Otherwise, your email might reach the spam folder. So when you write your email, try and do a check to see whether any of these phrases are there in your email and get rid of them. The other thing you can do is also send your email to one of these sites. Mail Tester has a lot of interesting tools. If it's not spam, you can send your email. Remember, under the preview and test, you can send a test email. So send it to these guys. They will email you a report on how spammy your email is. So here's a free spam checker. One is not spam, and the other one is Mail Tester. In both of them, you have to mail your marketing email to them. Mail Tester will give you a score. Is not spam will send you an email telling you which are the spam words in your email. Good to go on this then? So now you know how to design an email, you know how to proofread it, you know how to make your writing better, and you know how to de-spam it. Remember MailChimp? Just in case you're having a little trouble, you can also download this free setup guide. MailChimp in turn has a lot of resources for email marketers. Just go to resources, mailchimp.com/resources. See, there's a lot of really interesting stuff about segmentation, comparative reports, common rookie mistakes. I would recommend definitely keeping a check on these because MailChimp is the world's most popular email marketing service. Okay? So this is a library that's constantly getting updated and it's free. Now, remember on MailChimp, I put in images into my email. Do all of you remember that? I could upload that image from my desktop, or in the case of the demonstration, I took an image that was already used by me in the past, right? But all this is getting stored on the MailChimp server, which means that at some point of time, it's going to run out of space, especially free accounts. At some point of time, they'll either want to monetize it or they might tell you no more space, which means you have to get rid of some pictures. If you don't want to do any of that, you can host your picture elsewhere and ask MailChimp to import it from a URL. There is that option when you check your MailChimp. Post image allows you to host an image for free. I'm not even logging in. I'm just picking up an image. Let's pick up pictures. General demo. Now when I do this, here's the link from where this image can be imported. Click on the link, you'll see the image. Can you see it? Now this image is being hosted on Postimage for free. So you're not using up MailChimp's bandwidth to host this image. Make sense? Yes or no? So this is your free image hosting, postimage.io. And finally, remember buyer persona? Buyer persona is a tremendously useful tool when it comes to marketing segmentation, not just in email marketing, but across the board. HubSpot has a template that you can download, a free template on buyer persona. Page 1 includes background, demographics, identifiers. Page 2 has goals, challenges, what can you do, your solutions. Page 3 has actual quotes by real customers, common objections, hurdles to using your product. Page 4 has marketing messaging, elevator pitch, which is if you can condense your offering into a 30-second message, what will it be? And you can download this over here. This website also contains a lot of useful information about buyer persona. You can download it for free here. And once you've done that, you can read up further on buyer personae. That brings me to the end of the tools that I wanted to share with you. A last checklist for all email marketers. Think about how many emails you're able to send out. This should determine which service you want to use, whether it should be a paid one or a free one, what your internet bandwidth needs to be, manage your deliverability accordingly. What is it that you want your email to do? I hope all of you remember that exercise I took you through in week 2 on what is the business goal of your email, what is the selling message, what is the call to action, what is the reader action, what is the landing page. All of you remember that? Do that for every single one of your emails, okay? Who am I sending the email to? Use your buyer persona model, segment your database. Think about where is your email likely to get stuck. Now that you found out you're on some blacklist, is that a potential problem? If your sender score is really bad, maybe you should improve your reputation. Are you getting a very high spam score from is not spam? Do you want to recreate your email again? Is your email taking a very long time to load? Maybe you should host your images elsewhere. Use all of these tools, do one sanitize check, do one logic check across the entire journey your email is going to take, and see where it's likely to get stuck and how you can remove that hurdle. Think about, does your recipient have a good reason to open your email? Track your open rates, track all your metrics: bounce rate, delivery rate, open rate, and click rate. Are you giving them a good reason to go forward? Are they coming to your landing page? Have you ensured there's a next step? So you've got them to subscribe, you've got them to subscribe to the newsletter, but are they reading it? Are they going ahead? Are they transacting, or are they stuck on that sales funnel? Keep in mind that graph that I showed you on Tuesday, which is also there in your notes, the conversation between the buyers, the audiences, and the brand. Take them from step to step with your communication. Keep in mind the examples I talked to you about, the Vodafone example versus the retainer example, and keep refining your strategy. That brings us to the end of